Resolution 103. Everybody can look it up right now. Dash 150, and you can save it for after the call and actually read through what it says. Okay, because a lot of people, they don't read, they just assume it's all hearsay. They
Right.
think, oh, this is legitimate, this is what we've been told, so this is what it is. But
Do one
as
more time
all of
real
us
slow.
know,
I'm gonna type it out as you say it.
U.S. Public Joint Resolution,
Public Joint Resolution.
yep, confession without a resolution is what I call it.
Okay.
103-150.
Was that the Grover Cleveland one or? Let's see. I guess I'm about to find out. Okay, the apology, or that was the
Well,
Bill
it was,
Clinton one.
yeah, we're sorry. We're not giving anything that belongs to you back. We know we stole everything. We know we broke international law. We know we broke US law. We know that we're admitting to war crimes, but what they all don't really say, which is what I have discovered, which is why the police were so scared that day, and like they were scared of my words, right? Because
Yeah.
they were scared of my words, and my words were that they work for the pedophile cabal here,
Yeah,
and the
they
state
really
is.
seem to resemble that. The more you say
And
it, the
so
more angry they get. I mean, if you called me that, I don't think I would be very angry. I would just think that you're crazy. But for them, they're like, no, we cannot let her speak at all. We have to beat the words out of her.
right, we have to come into her
Wow.
car. We have to pull down our windows. We can't wait for our sergeant. We cannot use tactics of de-escalation,
Right?
like our SOPs, our standards of operations and procedures. We don't give a fuck about our code of ethics. We don't care about that. We say we swore an oath to the United States Constitution and the Hawaii State Constitutions. We're just gonna come in and do whatever we want,
Mm.
which is what Officer Gaber said. This is our policy. We can do whatever we want, which is why I never got out of the car because I was threatened already. Like, why are you asking us for social security numbers? Why over the dispatch, which the public defender says in open court, there's no dispatch, but the
Mm.
purported body worn cameras that she gives to us, which are altered, by the
Yeah,
way,
you can see the
we
cuts, right? It's like simple to see. And where they're like using the mouse actually to like only drag it to this point, not to like anything before that. Huh.
well, and that's the whole thing is where's everything before that, and
Mm.
they're everything about their police reports. Again, do I look 5'4", 220-pound Chinese female? No. No, I
Not
don't.
to me.
I kept on
You
saying
don't
I'm a
look
Hawaiian, I'm a
Chinese to
Kanaka
me.
Maoli, I'm in my country, Ko Hawaii Aina. I'm in the country of Hawaii, I'm in the archipelago.
So wait, wait.
Right.
Is this a race crime? Is this
Yes.
a racial crime?
Yes, because
Wow.
why would they, when I'm saying this, right, they all seen these, again,
Yeah, your
they see
face is
my
on the
name,
sign. You got the
right?
flyer in the car. It's
I
right
gave
there.
it to
No
them,
child
they all held
trafficking.
it, right? And they act like he couldn't read what the end human traffic or end child trafficking, and they went forward doing, and the confidence and the conviction of these guys, because they've been doing it repeatedly over and over and over again, and they are able to will protect them, the tutor, because that is what it is. The prosecutor's office, by the way, did you guys see, they're all LGBTQ plus when you walk in? I know Carl was there. Carl, you want to
Ooh.
add to that whole experience when we were
Yeah,
doing
what's
we were
your
requesting the written oaths
experience
of
in this whole
office? Can you
thing there,
share?
Carl? For the people who've never heard of this before, maybe give us like your point of view from like where it came from, where we're at.
Which part? The
May
attack
5th,
and the
Kalea
Oh,
attempted
Kana
wait, let's
gets
murder.
just
beat
wait. Hold
down.
on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. For the record, he is not practicing law, but go on.
Yeah, this whole podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes
Yeah, yeah,
only, not to be taken as legal advice. And
no,
we do not consent to the satanic pedophile cabal running the show
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Carl Dix, Clean
And
House Hawaii.
I don't need to practice. I can kick their ass without it.
Yeah, we like to use it. We don't want to practice law. We want to
Yeah,
use the
no, no, no.
law for justice. All right, but anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead, sir.
Well, I could start in a number of places. First off, Hawaii does not have three branches of government. They have two, and even that's debatable.
Whoa, do you guys hear that static? Do you guys hear the static?
I don't hear any static, but yeah, Carl's connection is a little bit kind of warbled.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
said there are
right.
not three branches of government in Hawaii. There are actually
No,
only two. Let that
yes,
sink
and
in. There are two branches. And what are those branches, Carl?
the legislative and the executive.
Legislative
And
and executive.
and in 1972, they took a bold move and converted what was supposed to be the judicial branch of government, which is the three branches. It's three because they keep each other in check.
Yeah, checks and
No,
balances.
yeah, the Hawaii State Bar Association is a corporation, unincorporated, not-in-profit association, and they are there to protect the executive and the legislative branches.
Mmm.
Not to hold them in check, to protect them
Mmm.
in their criminal activity and their um their misdeeds or malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance.
And for the folks who don't
Bars
know,
are,
Carl Dix isn't just some guy on a video call. He is the guy who has been in the courts looking through all of their documents for years and years, studying this stuff, the whole system, as much as he can. He spent, I don't know, decades on it, Carl.
well, grand total of what my knowledge, yeah, decades, yeah. But I've been digging into this bar
And he's
association
filing
thing.
against state, filing in the Supreme Court. Like, yeah, so
Yeah,
this is a very
yeah,
qualified speaker that we are listening to now.
yeah,
Carry on,
yeah,
Carl Dix.
yeah. I did file a suit against the Hawaii State Bar Association, antitrust and RICO, because as a corporation, they fall into the Sherman Antitrust Act, and they don't have any competition. And if you go into court, you must be licensed by their corporate entity, or you can't come in. That's the poster child of antitrust. No competition, and they run the show. They license the people allegedly licensed.
Mm.
If you're in a mafia ring like in New York or wherever, if you're in the gang's rules go. And if you're not part of the gang, you don't agree to be in their gang. They keep you out. They kick you out. They beat you up. They shut you down, and they steal your money and steal your drugs. Same thing with government.
Yeah, I mean, just different
It's
uniform.
racketeering, straight on RICO racketeering. And they keep everybody out. They run the show the way they want it, and what they call justice is justice. What they call due process is their due process, and that's how it is because they're not a branch of government. The part that they've kind of not really discussed, and nobody's really brought it up, is if you're not a part of the government, you have no judicial immunity. You have no immunity. You are subject to the laws just like everybody else.
Mm.
And we're going to start pursuing that angle here shortly too. And I did kind of put them in a predicament, and uh, these guys haven't ever seen as stiff an assault against what they're doing as what I. So they were pretty unprepared, and it was fairly easy to get them to do what I wanted them to do and walk into the traps that I set. And like the process, they tried their damnedest not to put my. They would not put my name in the court record. They would not say my name. They said Arthur Dix, everything they could do to avoid giving me any publicity whatsoever. And then they decided, oh, we want to go after him for practicing law without a license. So then, even though my name was never said in the court record, now it's all over the minutes. That's weird, isn't it? That's flat out lie. Nobody said my name in court, but the minutes say they said it 5 times. Huh. Nobody heard it, so
Hmm.
that's changing the record. Alter. That's intentional fraud.
That's
Mm.
tampering with evidence.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's a felony, right? That's perjury, is it?
I would believe so. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're in a really bad position right now. Oh, and I did petition the bar or the less than Supreme Court to I want okay I want to take the bar exam. Well, the problem with that is all the judges that are going to judge to see if I can or to determine whether I can take the bar exam or not. It's a conflict of interest because they belong to the bar.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it's either to their benefit or their demise. So they should recuse themselves. So who's going to hear my petition? That's a problem, isn't it?
It sure is.
Yeah. So pretty much any judge in the state of Hawaii can't hear any case that I write because of my filings against the Hawaii State Bar Association and the conflict of interest for them to rule or do anything.
Hmm.
So anything I file's got to be done, ruled on, or judged or heard outside of the state of Hawaii. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Because they're not part of the same cabal. So
Hmm.
that's not going to work very well for the state cabal. Yeah, they got some things to think over, and uh, we got a ways to go yet. But yeah, they're not real comfortable in the position they're in. Yeah, the judge yesterday or Monday, um, that's the craziest thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
When
Tell us. What did
Calais,
you see?
yeah, when Calais brought up the motion to dismiss because of structural and oh, I've got it. I'm actually looking at it right now.
Well, let me
Um,
start off with this. We have been looking for attorneys for standby counsel because the public pretender's office wouldn't actually meet with me in person, but they wanted me to give them all of my information
Hmm.
online. My policy is, I'm sorry, I don't ever seen you. I don't know who you are. You could be in Zimbabwe, whatever, whatever. And I want to,
Right.
right? And I wrote back and I told Mr. Bento, this is his name, is Mr. Bento.
Bent over.
You
Sorry.
that too, but I told Mr. Bento, like, I put it in writing and I said, well, I want to see your birth certificate, your social security number, your oath of office, your FARA documents, I mean, I requested it. And of course, he's like, we're not giving you any of that. And I'm like, okay, well, but you guys are asking me for all of these things and I don't have a social security number. You guys are asking for that on this form you're providing. Then you say, don't ask the court for any help. But we can't even come in person and see who you're going to be with before
I
giving you
demand
my
effective
information,
counsel.
right?
Effective counsel, right?
So the
Detective.
judge, we all thought we heard on August 4th and August 8th and August 11th, that we can get standby counsel, and if the prosecutor's office or the public defender's office doesn't have anybody, then we can choose an attorney on my choice. So we haven't been sitting around, like, we want to go through with this pro se, but at the same time we're not just sitting around and just acting like we don't know what our other options are, whatever, whatever. And we've interviewed several attorneys, and as a matter of fact, we brought one yesterday, right, Carl?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the prostituter was all up in his face when he heard that she was trying to make a special appearance. And she went from, oh, we'll drop this from a felony to two misdemeanors, or that was right outside of court. So, like, you could hear
Mm.
Yeah.
Shelby, Carl, Joe, they're
Oh,
all out of court. He's
negotiation game, right?
right, right. And so she will not contact me. She will not do a meet and confer. She is just,
Yeah, I
she's
just kept
because she's
firing them like on the spot in the courtroom loud enough that the thing could hear me, everybody could hear me. Like, you need to recuse yourself or I'm going to fire you directly. Because I knew that he was going to steamroll me over my mask thing. And I just kept demanding a new counsel. And they had,
right,
like, I fired like 3 or 4 of them before the whole, like, pretender's office is like, no, we're not going to help you. And then the
right,
judge is trying to tell me I'm on my own. I'm like, no, I'm guaranteed effective counsel. So they ended up paying the money to get this defense attorney, like some
right,
hotshot defense attorney, to come over from the other court defending murderers. And I got him recorded too, saying that he got murderers off and he doesn't care. He just likes money. And he thinks we should all be shot if we don't take the vaccine. Yeah, sorry,
Huh.
sidebar there.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, this is the state of the demon that we are fighting against. They want us
I
all
think
masked and like held down and jabbed in the neck with whatever goop they want to put in us, brah.
so. Then he had like he was pissed at the attorney who was there. He told him he couldn't be there inside by the bar. He allowed him, uh, like really reluctantly, yeah, Carl, allowed him to stay in the courtroom to
Mm.
observe the rest of the hearings. So that attorney watched everything. Carl was removed off the witness list, and so was Shelby. So they got to stay in, and there was a handful of other people there as well that got to observe it, including Major Hicks from Occupied Forces Hawaii.
Mm.
And so, um, and he
Non-combative
was,
unit, by the way,
yes, well,
folks.
yeah, yeah. They don't. That's the whole thing is like, we're all trying to do this without having to get physical, but in their mind, the tyrants are going to get physical because they're going to get what they want, right? And
Yeah,
so
they got the
we went
monopoly on guns and violence, right? If you don't do what they
right,
say, they have guys with guns show up with handcuffs and drag you off.
yeah, and
And if you
tasers
resist,
and
they will beat you
batons
or
and
kill you.
guns. They have all of those things, and so we went through that part. Then Carl's got brought up, right?
Mm.
Carl's we brought Carl's name up again. He got removed off the witness list, and boy, everybody was just watching Carl like a hawk in the he's has Parkinson's. He's in a wheelchair, right? And we went from one sheriff to three sheriffs when I went in, right? Like
Right.
they're all scared because we're talking and talking and they don't know what they think we're gonna flip out and do all of this stuff. Whatever, we didn't, right? I didn't get arrested again. So I pat myself on the back because I do have a big mouth and I am going to use those words to stand up for my rights and all people's rights. That's literally what we're doing with this case. And then on top of that,
Yeah, this
what
can't
happened
happen to
after that?
anybody else ever again. Anymore.
So,
Done. It
so
cannot.
leading up to the hearing, basically they just ignored everything, right? They manipulated the information on the record, and I say the word manipulated because it is what it is, right? They
Mm.
manipulated it. It wasn't the
Not
same as it was
deleted, not
before.
forgotten, not accidentally typo. It was straight up manipulated.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so then they wouldn't tell us which motions were going to be heard on the docket,
Hmm.
right? Until the very last minute, finally there was a total of seven before we went to court. And then when I got to court, they ambushed me with a whole bunch more that wasn't there. And the judge made an excuse about, oh, there's not enough space on the paper outside. I'm like, I'm not talking about the paper on the docket outside. I'm talking about the Jeff's file that I have access to now because I'm pro se, right? Or pro per,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, in your proper
So
person.
correct. And so we covered that, but then him and her, I mean, oh, and then I raised up the green cards because by certified mail, we mailed all of them letters, which they got on October 6th, right, Carl?
Mm.
Yep.
Gotta love that
Because
certified mail.
yeah, and so like we know that they got the letters regarding the perjury of all officers on their police reports, on their declaration for a warrantless arrest the day after the day they arrested me.
Mm.
Um, and so like that all came in. We got the confirmation back. I went in and that's happened up. I said, before we get started, Your Honor, did you get to the letters that I sent you in mail about the perjury? He said he didn't read it yet. And then the prostitutor goes, oh, she's talking about an ex parte communication with you. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I got one here for you too. You got it too, right? On October 6th, right? Oh, well, I haven't read it yet. Of course you haven't. You already lied to the judge about incomplete discovery, saying it was full. You lied to the judge in open court and said there was no dispatch logs. You said there was no 911 calls. And Carl, didn't she give me the 911 call all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
on open court on Monday? But she said it was at 1:30. Now, Andrew, I know we have a recording of your 911 call. It
Yep,
was
with
way before
timestamp and
one.
everything. I got
Right? But see,
three or four recordings, right? Because I called all the way to the end. Give me the right motherfucker that I gotta talk to figure out what the fuck's going on and get her checked on, you motherfuckers.
and the time that she said was
Excuse me.
1:30. The time that she said specifically was 1:30 when you know I know it was at 1:30 because I was in the back of a police car when Andrew was on top of you. I could hear the dispatcher say, we have people looking for the Taylor Akana girl. Do you know
Yeah.
where she is? I have Maui Freedom TV and others calling from different islands trying to find the... And so
So
I know
anybody
what
who's
I heard.
listening out there, whenever somebody messes with your friends, if it's the police and they are not doing the right thing, you let them know that they are on blast and that you're recording the 911 call. They will proceed to shit their pants when they find out that you got a bunch of friends that are going to tell the whole world about their bullshit. Sorry, carry on.
So that came through, and then they brought all kinds of different motions up beforehand, and then he dismissed, sorry, denied all of them, even my subpoenas due secum for the police officers. Okay, so now we have witnesses inside the court watching all of this stuff go down, and at the very end, because there's stuff to argue about and there's stuff not to argue about.
Right.
Everything that we put on the record is on the record that I filed, so it doesn't matter what any of them say.
Mm.
It's just like, is it worth my time to argue about this, and this? Some things is just not worth arguing. Um, and at the very end, the last motion that we submitted the night before, and that, Carl, you want to go ahead and talk about that? You want to take over and talk about that and maybe read it out to everybody, like I did to the judge before he had a shutdown?
Sure, sure. Actually, um, it was a motion to dismiss, and let me see if I can stabilize my camera here. And that ain't working. Okay, I'll just hold it. Okay, motion to dismiss with prejudice for structural conflict, retaliatory prosecution, falsified record, denial of counsel, incomplete discovery, and conspiracy of rights and deprivation of rights under the color of law. And you want me to read the whole thing or just give a
I want you to read
summary?
all. I want you to read all the way to the part where you remember where the judge was like cutting me off because
Okay.
you saw what the
Comes
judge
now
did, his
defendant Kaylani
uncomfortableness on the bench.
Akana appearing pro per.
K Leonelani.
Yeah, KO is a lot. Yeah, I can write, I don't talk. But appearing pro per and respectfully moves this honorable court to dismiss this action with prejudice. The record and official minutes now reveal defendant's lawfully authorized investigator, assistant, and constitutional representative, not by, through, or under the Hawaii State Bar Association, Carl Orlando Dix, now has been inserted into the written court minutes docket 217 by the court 4 times under his correct legal name, even though the spoken record in the open court never identified him, only spoke of Carl Arthur Dix, or as in the first minutes of written record, an individual. Let me scroll down. I switch ends. Oh,
For the folks who are just listening, that's Carl Dix from Clean House, Hawaii.
okay, there we go. Okay. The prosecution subsequently filed a complaint with the state attorney general against Mr. Dix, alleging unauthorized practice of law in retaliation. My tongue's not working today.
All
For
good, all good.
his pending Hawaii Supreme Court case SCPW 25-000583, which brings into question licenses to practice law of members of the Hawaii State Bar Association and exposes systemic conflicts of interest and antitrust violations by the Hawaii State Bar Association. The court continues to deny recognition of filings signed by Mr. Dix under the defendant's lawfully and dutifully filed power of attorney, while simultaneously incorporating his name into the record. The state has The state has failed to produce complete discovery despite multiple motions to compel and a notice of incomplete discovery and intent to use as affirmative defense. And collectively, these acts render the proceedings void ab initio for lack of impartial
Void ab
jurisdiction.
initio.
Yeah, ab initio. Um, for lack of impartial jurisdiction,
So
retaliation,
wait, what's
falsification of
void
record.
admissio? Like I feel like we're going into Harry Potter land right now.
Yeah, ab initio. That means from the beginning. Falsification of record, conspiracy and denial of due process.
Okay, so from the beginning, they have been obstructing truth and justice in this case.
Yes.
They, as in the police, the judiciary, the prosecutors, and the defender's office.
Yeah, well, that's conspiracy.
Yeah, it sounds like a conspiracy to me.
Yeah. Grounds for dismissal. Um, A. Structural conflict and judicial bias. The court and the Hawaii State Bar Association are direct parties in SCP W 25-000583 Dix versus Hawaii State Bar Association et al., which challenges the constitutionality of the antitrust status of the bar monopoly control over licensing because every sitting judge is a bar member subject to Hawaii State Bar oversight. And this court has pecuniary and institutional interest in the outcome, destroying neutrality under Tooney versus Ohio 273 U.S. 5110 1927, Caperton versus A.T. Massey Coal Company 556 U.S. 868 2009, and HRS 601-7. All subsequent rulings are void ab initio. And then B is retaliatory prosecution and the abusive process. How come this thing won't scroll? Like public. Okay, here we go. After
Send.
Mr. Dix filed his Supreme Court petition exposing the bar antitrust violations, the same prosecuting entity initiated and transmitted a complaint to the Attorney General accusing him of practicing law without a license. This constitutes retaliation for constitutionally protecting petitioning activity and violates the First Amendment as recognized in Hartman versus Moore, 547 U.S. 250, 2006. Because retaliation arises from protected litigation, the state's continued prosecution of this case is tainted and unlawful under the Due Process Clause. So
Miss
basically,
Akana, Miss Akana, Miss Akana, Miss Akana. I've read the motion, Miss Akana. And I said, oh,
yeah.
you read the motion? He said, yes, I did. I said, oh, okay. And then, Carl, you want to describe what you saw from the judge
Well,
when we were doing part?
yeah, when she started reading this in court, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Three Stooges, Larry, Curly, and Moe.
Yep.
I believe it's Curly, the one without any hair. Um, something when he would do that thing where he take off the glasses, where he's rubbing his face and rubbing his head and this and just kind of fidgeting. That's what the judge was doing.
Yeah, and I mean,
100%.
what I keep seeing over and over is these people aren't that intelligent, most of them. They just have been in there so long and they have this network already built. So they have like this
Yep.
hive intelligence that we're fighting against.
Yep.
And maybe
And
fighting isn't the right word. We are transcending from.
yeah. Yeah. Truth be known, they've been getting away with this for such a long time. They just don't expect any,
Resistance, yeah.
pushback.
And so after that, then I had two more motions, a motion to recuse himself, the judge.
Hmm.
That was We had that ready to go.
They seem to get
On
personally offended when you start talking like that. What's that
They
about?
do, but you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's their record, right? Their record is being
Yeah.
challenged. Their whole idea of power, the power construct is being diminished. They feel that they're being challenged. And you know what? But that's why we all have rights, right? To
Yeah.
challenge the
That's how
wrongdoing,
I
right?
trust the science, by not trusting the science. Right? And
Right.
Yeah.
law is also
Right.
a science, I came to learn here in Hawaii.
So he didn't read the motion. He just said, I'm going to let you orally enter the motion, but I'm going to deny it. And then that was the motion to recuse. And then it was the motion to move venue to federal court. And he said, I'm going to let you make an oral motion, but I'm going to deny it.
Denied.
Okay, so
Right?
He
will
didn't
we
even
even
read it,
see that
or
in the
yeah.
transcript later, I wonder? Because he
Oh, I
doesn't
doubt
want it
it.
in writing. He doesn't want the written motion. So, like, okay, you could say it, but we'll delete it later.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the other thing is he won't make an order regarding Carl saying what Carl cannot. He won't make an order. He's just saying, I'm not going to see any. Oh, sorry, I don't even know the. He's saying, I'm not looking at anything with both of your names on it, even though Carl is a legitimate power of attorney, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
HRP Root Tool 1 it's called an attorney of fact.
In fact, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, right? So, a lot of people like K through 12, when we're here in school in Hawaii, we don't learn any of this stuff. What we
They
learn
didn't
is
teach me in Oregon.
right,
None.
right, and all states, and this is what most people don't
Hmm.
understand yet, because it's all states. It's not
Yeah.
just the de facto state. Hawaii is really, 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 really,
They're
really
all
bad.
corporations, yeah.
Right. And they're all tied to the first state. What's the first state?
Mm.
The Vatican Church. And what's the rules? The church and the state are separate.
Mm.
That is not a true statement.
The
And the
greatest
bar.
trick the devil ever pulled was to make you think that he wasn't part of the state. I mean, that he didn't exist. You know the thing.
Well, then you have above and beyond that, the bar, Hawaii Bar Association it's the bar is a British registered, right? The British accredited registry.
Yeah.
So so when we all look at a map, okay, which is why there is no annexation
Mm.
document, because annexation is only done land to land mass. That's the
Right.
first
Like
thing.
Alaska was, I don't know if
Right.
that was purchased or annexed or how that worked, but it's
Well, Alaska's
connected
probably
by
going to go back
land
to Putin.
to
Right.
the same
But
landmass.
right.
Right?
But Hawaii, it's 2,600 miles from here to California, right to the west coast.
So, by
So
legal definition, annexation cannot happen.
by lawful
Yeah, by
definition,
lawful definition.
lawful,
And there's a
right, and by
distinction, folks, between legal and lawful.
yeah, de facto and de jure, two different
Mm.
ones, right? Because constitutional is the law of the
And
land.
de jure meaning
Policy,
like authentic and like real, right?
yeah, I'm
I
a
think,
real natural living being, sentient
yeah.
being. Eo
Not a
is
de
my
facto
creator.
that just said I'm a judge and I put on a black thing and I got a
Right, and somebody
certificate that
appointed
says
you
I'm a
and nobody.
judge.
Right, and then we're going to obstruct all a person's right to we're trying to get information from the state and the city and county has been probably the most frustrating thing in the world, because they extort you, right? They have a
Mm.
huge they have hundreds of millions of dollars for the police, but they want to charge you $3 a page. I'm being facetious. I don't know how much it is, maybe $1 a page to go, but
Yeah.
it continues to grow, right?
Oh, and to get the
And so,
transcript, it's on like some DVD that's like 20 years old technology or something, and we had to find some old ass DVD reader to make it work. And it's like, are you
right,
guys for real? Like, and it
right.
takes forever for them to get anything done. And you're
It
paying like every
might
step of the way. So, yeah, like justice denied by like, they have a gate,
by
right? A
by
paywall.
quietness. And they do it. They do it so they don't have to say anything, but they know that you're going to jump through all of these hoops until you get tired in the rat trap, right?
Yeah.
And so, thank God, I'm not getting. I mean, it's on Monday. It was so overwhelming, and like it hit everybody. Like the PTSD, the trauma, the
Mm.
infliction of dereliction of duty from
Mm.
them imposed upon us. Like everybody, Shelby was quiet the whole way. Hold on, we got to go from Honolulu to drop him off all the way in Waianae.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
and so he was quiet. The other attorney that was there, he had a lot to say yesterday when we met up with him. Other people in the courtroom, you know, I mean, but it really took a toll on us. That's why I didn't call anybody. I didn't really update anybody. It was just like, man, like, wow. I'm like, how do I keep on getting out of here right now? You know, because it's just so much. And so,
Mm.
um, and that's what they do. They wear you out. It's like an insurance policy, right? Because they're trying to get into your equity.
Yep.
And for me, they can't get into my equity because I don't even have an assurity bond connected to my social
Mm.
security number, right? Because, and you know, you talked to Raya and she's talked about all of that. That's just another
Yeah.
thing, right? These are the things that we're all learning together and teaching each other and going through it and applying it so that we have
Yeah, it's not just some
conversations like
YouTube
this.
videos about common law, guys. The stuff actually works against when the police are trying to step on you. I've seen it happen, and I've seen it when when you don't have all your laws fully like worked out, then they will step on you if they think they can get away with it. And in Calais' case, yeah, they thought that they could get away with it, but now they're finding out that they're not going to get away with this. And they've given Carl and the rest of us all the ammunition we need to prove to the world that they are not legit. Like, beyond a shadow of a doubt. These guys are not legit judges. They're not legit to be applying law to as they say, to be serving and protecting the public and like public record. Like they're falsifying everything. These guys got to go.
No, well, that's what it is that's what people don't really understand. They don't really understand Hawaii, right? Like, because we're here in Hawaii, so that's why I emphasize here in Hawaii, right? I was born here on this island, on this moku, at that pink hospital called Tripler Hospital.
Mm.
I was brought off of Tripler Hospital into this the Ko'oba'ipai Island, but their state's calling themselves a state. And I live right here. This is where I grew up on the beach,
Mm.
Taylor Farm. Okay. So Eva Beach, Bush, District 8, Ahupua, you know, over here, Honouliuli, that's really where I'm at, right?
Mm.
So when I'm sitting here in the automobile right now, I don't need a license to drive by the state. I didn't contract that, just like I didn't contract the ticket citation that was given to me,
Mm.
right? They put the word handcuff on it. They slid it in my bag that was given to my mom. I didn't sign that.
Yep.
Gaber signed that, and then she put no injury on the traffic violation.
Contract is law. Law is contract. And if you
So I
accept a
didn't
ticket, then
contract,
you're accepting a contract.
right? So I didn't, and I definitely was waiting for the sergeant. I was going through all their own protocols because be living here, you got to know all of this as a Hawaiian, as a Kanaka,
Mm.
and our people like. I never felt so much pain in my heart when I came back. And, you know, the first people that I ever was introduced to was Uncle Bumpy at the nation state of Hawaii and Waimanalo. And they have a huge library, you know, and all of that stuff. And that was like my first year and a half, 2 years of training. Um, as to like, oh my gosh. But when I read that U.S. Public Joint Resolution 103-150, whereas all the different war crimes, they admit to all the war crimes, admit to all of it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But they don't resolve the problem. Instead, they decide that they're going to be Pedophile Island. Because when you go back and look at the old recalling of pedophiles, religious holiness from foreign cases, so right? My family court case is what I was telling Joe and Carl. Because what people have to understand is they've been trying to put me in jail for 5 years, right? They've been trying to put me in jail for 5 years
And that was
because of my
Security and Exchange or Federal Exchange? I can't remember. FEC
no,
or SEC?
they're done. The SEC is all done with me. As far as I'm concerned, I have 3 law firms representing me on that. Okay.
Right.
Anybody else had $800,000 lying around just to pay attorneys? No, but
Yeah.
that's my point. This is
And
why
they
we're
said
doing
what?
this.
That you had like 80,000 Bitcoin and they didn't get a taste of that, so they want to put you in prison.
82,
82,000
82,000,
Bitcoin.
82,000.
So
So
do
let's
the
do some
math,
math.
people. I've
So
seen
why
the
would
legal
they?
paperwork. It's real. Yeah, if you could share the link in the description, right? I think I still have that link
Um,
somewhere. But yeah, send me that link again, and we should share it in the feeds
yeah,
again.
if you Google SEC Taylor,
If it's not
then you'll
removed from
see.
Google now,
No, I think
right?
it's still up there because they just caught Dover. So Dover was the company owner. I had nothing to do with opening the company. I was just a promoter, right? I
Right.
was the top
And this
income
dude like
earner.
basically did like a bait and switch or something, took the liquidity pool or what?
No, so to this is my opinion, okay? Because I went through it, okay? My opinion is such that Bitcoin is not a security. So accepting Bitcoin for payment and trading it on behalf of others with real traders or bots, regardless, Bitcoin was never a security. It's not a security today, right? Now, this is like 8, 9 years later, right?
Right.
So now President Trump wants to make America the crypto capital of the world. So,
Hmm.
right? But Dover Braga was the owner of the company. And the whole time that we were in it, because I didn't speak Portuguese, Spanish, or any of that stuff. So there was a translator that would translate to us, right? Because he would not, his English was very broken. So the whole time I actually thought Mr. Armando was the owner, or there was owners, and again, I was just a marketer, right? So in February, Dover
Okay.
Braga. And so he right now is arraigned in Seattle, and the SEC is going to bring charges against him. I don't know what's happening. I don't talk to him because all the things that were coming up as SIRs regarding what we were doing to make sure we kind of stay under the radar because
Right.
Bitcoin wasn't right, and he still is a Bitcoin like Ponzi scheme,
Hmm.
not Bitcoin Ponzi scheme, not
Hmm.
Ponzi scheme, right? And so Carl's also read the documents as well. And so, like, literally, up to this the day, I still have attorneys on file for that. So, if the government was going to still come to me, they would go to them first, and then my attorneys would call me, and then we'd have to get on, right?
Right.
Um,
Okay,
so
there we go.
I
I was able to bring it up. SEC charges. Yeah, Grok helped me, by the way. Grok AI, folks. Because searching on Google did not help. I had to use Grok.
right.
It's all
So let's
buried
look
in
at.
there. They don't want you finding this stuff.
So what had happened was, in order to get my kids, the kid's father lied on the record, said I was a bad mom, basically told them that I had the 82,000 Bitcoin or a part of the 82,000 Bitcoin, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know because it was a long time ago and I wasn't there when he did it. But now, coming all these years, because this is the thing, right? This is a lot of time that it's very stressful to deal with all of these different things, try to still help people explain, educate, make videos, take down videos when things change,
Right.
continue to do all your other stuff to bring you in wealth that doesn't come from the state of Hawaii, right? Nothing I do is in the state of the Hawaii. Nothing,
Hmm.
right? Nothing I do, right, is in the state of Hawaii. I don't have any businesses. I don't have any operating business licenses. I don't have any of that stuff because all my stuff that I started to do was way before I even came home, which is why I could retire at 38 years old.
Oh, they updated your name there on the thing. Kaleo Nalani Akana Taylor.
Right, and that's all wrong too. So
Yeah,
because
that's all
that's
backward.
another thing. It's all backwards. So what had happened was is what I believe is that the kid's father is working as a, he's a rat because he got
Hmm.
busted when he got busted for Aloha Industries, right? We'll talk
Right.
about that later. And
And
then he
these are
got
the day. Yeah,
busted.
this is like Hawaii 5-0 on crack, guys.
Yeah, he got busted. And he was the person that had financial advice. Like he was the person that was all series this, series that, right? All qualified in the world of financial management and stuff like that. So as a team, when he approached me to say, "Oh, well, let's get this business together. I could help you with this," and I'm not really doing too much right now while we're waiting for his trial, right? Because he was on trial for domestic violence and abuse, so he's a bunch of experience. I've never been on trial for. I never even been like I never really been in trouble, right? Like all the way to this until I came home and it's just like, whoa. So let's do the math though, because I don't think that people really, really understand why they want to come after me. What do they want from me? Why do they want it from me? You know? And
Well, I
so if
mean,
we
what did Bitcoin really represent to people when it came out? It
freedom,
was like
freedom,
decentralization and power
decentralization.
away from the banks, away from the
Correct,
banking cartels and
correct,
centralized government, World Bank,
correct.
the Fed, which is not federal and is not a reserve, right? The Federal Reserve. Yeah, it was a challenge to all of that, putting power back into your hands. And that is very scary to these dangerous people.
Yeah, and my story was single mom, 2 kids, no welfare, no child support, no state assistance, no alimony because I was never married, right?
Mm, mm.
I wanted to be a role model for women so that they wouldn't have to live off mooch off their exes for 18 years. Like my whole being before I came here was very, very different because in America you have a lot more space to cover, right? Like I have networks all over America. Like as soon as this gets dropped, I'm out, right? I'm gonna go visit. I'm gonna meet all of my friends that I haven't seen because they've quartered me and contained me here
Yeah, Joby
in
Weeks is under house arrest for like 6 years without being formally charged or whatever, and like he's on the list there, right? Like, and this guy's like a celebrity in the crypto space
he's
now.
he is the person that came to me and told me about Bitcoin when it was way when it was under $1.
Woo!
And when I first heard about it, I was in network marketing. I think I was in at the time I was in Boracia, and then I was also in secret skincare. It was I was a secret agent, right? That was what our
Okay.
independent distributorship label was. So I did skincare, and I was doing health and wellness, and then there was other digital products that came to be, and Joby I met through that, right? Because the best skill sets you could have is networking, right? Finding
Your
out,
network is your net worth. I do
right?
agree with Warren Buffett on that. I don't like
I,
his relationship with Bill Gates and all that, but the network is worth more than money, guys. Your friendships, this is star family right here.
Right. And so these are the things, these are the principles, philosophies. Like I listen to the greats, and I continue to listen to them today, but I do it by audio on YouTube versus buying all the books, shipping them all out, reading them, right? Because I like to fall asleep to this stuff so that I'm subliminally being messaged up by like while I'm sleeping, right?
Mm.
Um, so, I was doing all of that. I had success, but not the type of success. I fell in love with the Bitcoin white paper, and my coach really, really was Andreas Anatopoulos, Bitcoin Andreas, right? And you could find that on the internet. You had to go search it.
Mm.
So all of this stuff, you had to do your own research. But the white paper, for whatever reason, really made sense to me. Understanding the central banking. By that time, I already understood the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the
Yeah,
Euro,
that's why this
the
Satoshi guy needed
Zionist.
to be anonymous, right? Because he
Correct.
knew they would kill him. Like, this
Correct.
is like not billions of dollars, it's trillions and trillions.
Right.
It's all the money
And
in the world,
so
actually, right?
and so what people don't understand, yes, and what people don't understand is we're building when you get a new person on a wallet or you get anybody to download the node, the software algorithm to mine on your computer using your existing energy, or buying hardware and having the algorithms in it and having like for us, like uh at one point I was a part of the third largest mining facilities in all of North America,
Gee.
right? But that's because I was also a part of solar, right? And
Mm,
when you can buy the energy at 5 cents, it's better than mining it at 25 cents, 40 cents per kilowatt hour. Okay.
right.
I know like I just look like a dumb Hawaiian. Okay. Like a lot of people like
No, you look
I
like
look
a
like a dumb
400-pound
Hawaiian.
Chinese lady. Get
That
it
before or
straight.
after I was punched 25 times by each officer in my
Yeah,
face.
jeez.
You know what I mean? So like um people in Hawaii don't know who I am because I was gone for 20 years and I found my way away from what was told to me as the American dream, right? Go to school, go to
Mm.
college, get a degree, go work for corporate America
Moved to
and get
Oregon.
your
Why are there so many people? I had no idea growing up. I grew up in Oregon, but
bro,
there's a lot of Hawaiians over
bro.
there. Like,
There, so
it's
many
too
because it's
cold and
close
wet.
to home, but it's too close. It's closest to home, right? Like,
Oh,
right. So your
right.
airfare, your air flight is only 5.5 hours
Shoot.
instead of 12.5 hours
And then
going
you're
all the way
forced to
across.
live in that like wet, dreary, worse than England vibe. I've never been to England. No disrespect to England, but it's always cold and wet. Same thing. Like I can't even
I
go back, dude. As soon as I'm over the clouds and I'm like, oh crap, I'm going under those clouds into Oregon. Like I need to leave
and you
pretty soon.
get
I
they call
love
it what is
Oregon, but like
seasonal
I,
depression.
yeah, I gotta live
Seasonal
near the
depression.
equator. Hmm.
That's what they told me when I first moved up from California to Oregon. They're like, "Oh, how long have you been up here?" I was like, "Oh, about a year." Like, and then the winter came, right? And then, but it was the third year that I was there that I had cabin fever inside the house because it was like a super snowstorm or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's by the third year is when I really started to feel the melanin deficiency over the
Hmm.
course of a 12-month period because it's only like 4 months there is the sun, right?
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? The rest of it is whatever. And you know, you're from Oregon, you know. And so, but
Yeah. Look at me.
um
I'm white. Pale white.
so let's do the math though, because again, we're just kind of sharing with you guys. I mean, for you, all of you guys can do some research. Go look up my old name. My human traffic name is Kelly Taylor, which
Hmm.
is right because I was born in an occupation here in Hawaii, and I was given a corporate document before I could even breathe, and my mom didn't know she was an informant, and she was giving me up
And for the
to
folks that want to
the
preach
cabal.
statehood, I think, like maybe we're ready to start opening up to allowing other people in the future, like in the coming weeks. Let's start doing these roundtables because there's all those voices saying, well, the statehood, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm not qualified to speak on all those things, but you guys are. And I've gotten a few people from the other side who see it the other way to agree to
Mhm.
have like a respectful, open and rigorous debate based on facts and reason and in good faith.
Well, I'd love
So,
for them to give me I'd love for them to provide me an annexation document because that's the only way that you would get to legitimate statehood. So if you don't
mm.
have that, you don't have crap,
Well, in the
right? You
vote
have,
too, they said that it
right.
was a vote, but it was like American soldiers and missionaries. Like, I could move to Canada and then as an American vote to become part of America. Oh wait, aren't they doing that with the southern border stuff? Like with the Biden administration?
Well, that's what
Woo!
it is, right? So that's what I try to explain to people. Like me being home, understanding what happened with the Biden administration and bringing all those people through the border. Hawaii, we don't have a wall around the island chain. So my question is how the hell do the drugs get in? How does fentanyl get in? How do the
Mm.
girls and boys get trafficked and sold their organs and all of that stuff, right? Because again, my
Yeah.
ministry's work is to end
And these
child
islands
trafficking
are
and human
so
trafficking.
small. You can't tell me the DEA doesn't know who's moving what dope. And you can't tell me that me and
Oh, thank
Pikachu
you,
didn't
po.
film some
Mahalo.
weird stuff with the cops involved. Yeah, we
Hmm.
got it on film.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so that's the whole thing is that they've been here. They got Zionist news, right? They got everything here is basically all fake. But it's hard to explain to people because they've been believing it even though they don't know it. Which
Mm.
is why we're going through this case the way that we're doing with a fine tooth comb. And I'll play dumb in the courtroom. Ask Carl. I don't have to argue. I'll let them do all their stupid
Yeah.
things and lose their minds and pull out their hair and give blowjobs under the freaking desk at ex parte meetings and nobody else in the court,
I got it on
whatever.
good word that in Kauai, the mobsters are drinking booze like spirits in the courtroom with the judge after hours. I
I've got
mean,
more.
yeah,
I
they
mean,
just have unchallenged,
ooh.
unchecked power, or so they think.
Hold on a second. There's a
Yeah.
a sandstorm. Hold on a second. A dust storm. Hold
Da
on
da
a
da
minute.
da da.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
But
Isn't
Yeah.
so,
that the
but yeah, well,
soundtrack,
I,
Sandstorm?
on Kauai, I mean, literally, the cops are selling the fentanyl. They're the drug dealers. I know exactly where it gets dropped because I did my own reconnaissance in the ministry, right? And which all of my stuff
Mm.
is top secret. All of these people that I talk to, my reporting, I don't have to, that's all private. That has nothing to do with handing it over. I mean, we've had the police call us and other people that you guys know who started going into this realm of ending child trafficking and human because I'm not the only one here, but I'm the only one that doesn't have a nonprofit. I'm the only one that's never taken any money. I'm the only one
Mm.
that doesn't operate on fiat currency. I'm the only one that prints mints or
Well, and let's make
prints.
that clear to
I'm the
people
only one.
why not having a nonprofit. And if you follow Doge in Hawaii 808 on Instagram or Doge in Hawaii, DOGE in Hawaii on X, you will see there's a whole complicated web of nonprofits and NGOs, non government organizations that are washing money back and forth with political candidates or political figures. There's
Like Josh Green
mm-hmm.
and the
Or they
Hmm.
just
senators.
but it's not quite enough that we have the evidence just yet of where the money exactly moves, but we're getting closer and we can see, like, it's all there. Like, if you're willing to look, those with eyes can see. And yeah, so I think it's a big point that you don't have a nonprofit, a 501c3, or any of those corporations, because now we see all these churches going LGBTQ
I just took a
as
picture
if
of
it's
that.
on like Mockingbird, right? Like
Yeah.
some Mockingbird media. Suddenly, all the churches turn gay and they invert their values, and they go the
Hmm.
exact 180 of where they were before. Maybe it's because they're afraid of getting their taxes cut off, and they've sold their soul.
Right.
Yeah.
To whoever
Or
God
sorry,
they
their
say
free,
that
their
they're
tax-free status cut off. Yeah.
right. Right. Well, both, right? Because they're selling their souls to the corporation to have money to operate, and they're doing it unlawfully. Again, the churches are doing it unlawfully. Every extension from the corporation, every contract, they're all adhesion contracts.
It's my
Every,
understanding that you can form your own ministry and you don't have to report anything. In fact,
correct.
this is what I'm
That's what I did.
learning, seeming to get. Yeah.
That's why I won't give them any of my. They don't, and the ministry is not tied to a social security number, so they can. And
Mm.
again, this is stuff you can do. This shit costs money. Okay, just so you guys know, which
Yeah.
is why it really
And you got
uh,
to
uh,
file your paperwork correctly.
correct, and you gotta maintain it, and you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta do all of this extra. But I mean, that alone costed me tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, not to mention the
Mm.
trust, and there's an irrevocable trust, and then I started with the ministries first because I had to do another trust because the kid's dad saw my previous trust. And he went in open court, in
Ah.
family court, he wants 50% of everything that he was never a part of, never
Mm.
helped, never contributed, never invested in, never even had a link to. Okay,
Right.
he just came in and thought, oh, I'm gonna create this company to be a parent company over all of your other companies. We're gonna say we're 50-50, and I'm gonna be the one that's in control of everything. But see, he didn't say that like that. He
Like
just did
what?
it on the
Parasite.
documents.
Parasite.
Yeah, because in 2018, I went and spoke at the Indigenous Peoples Forum in New York, and I was invited again at 2019. During 2018 is when he did all of this behind my back, right? And he set all of this stuff up, and that'll be another story for later. But what he learned about everything that I did when I wasn't with him for 7 years and had the kids 100% of the time, taking care of them, no child support, we did fine. We did absolutely 100% fine. I became a multimillionaire. Today, that what I earned in that one company alone, right, on the SEC report, I technically earned almost 3,000 Bitcoin in 1 year from five.
But then, dead stop. You are under investigation by the SEC. We're going to stop and freeze your life for
Right.
years until we figure out that, sorry, we were wrong. You're free to go, but we ruined your business in the
Well,
meantime.
with the
And we're not going to give
SEC,
you anything back to compensate you.
well,
Is
and then you
that
got
kind
to
of how it went?
remember, kind of, but you also have to remember too, every political, like Grover Cleveland was validated Queen Liliuokalani.
Right?
But there was another election, and then Roosevelt got elected. He's like, fuck that, I'm going to keep it, right? And so that's how you have Roosevelt High School. Schofield is not a
Mm,
Hawaiian name. Hickam isn't a Hawaiian name. Iroquois Point isn't a Hawaiian name.
right.
None of these are Hawaiian names. They're all here because of the occupation.
And
And that is
slowly
the
changing the
only
names of
reason.
the roads and the highways as well, like Veterans Highway on Maui.
Correct. Like the guy's name at the airport, right? Because now on your guys' airport, there's some political guy's name there, right?
Yeah. Let me jump to the loo for a moment. I'll let you and Carl keep chopping it up for a minute. I think
Okay.
this is good and educational for the world to hear this. It seems like we're still streaming on all these platforms. So, yeah,
Okay.
please let the world hear, and I'll be back.
So, like going back to all of that, we're talking about the SEC case, and okay, so why, right? So when you look at the SEC case, and if you go and you do whip out your calculator, this is what I used to do with everybody when we used to calculate satoshis on Facebook. You take out your calculator and you multiply. What is today's value right now? Hold on a second. Let me go grab my other phone. Where's my other phone? Carl, can you bring it up? I got Joe's other
Um,
phones, but I don't know where
I just got one phone.
Uh-oh. Okay. So, oh, there it is. I found it. I found it. Okay, hold on one second. Let me bring up my other phone. Okay. And I'm going to do the numbers on this for you like this. Okay. As the Bitcoin queen, that's what I was. I retired coming home, thought I was retiring off of Bitcoin. And then I found out what it's like being Hawaiian, Kanaka Maoli, more importantly, in Hawaii. So I'm just going to pull down the calculator here. And then we're going to go, well, first let me go look at the coin market cap. So you can go to coinmarketcap.com. Anybody can do this. Is the kind of stuff that I used to do on Zoom calls, whatever. So Bitcoin is currently worth 111,000 dollars. It's more than that, but we'll just keep that as a conservative baseline. So $111,000. We're just gonna make it real simple, real even. Okay. So I'm gonna hit calculator right here. 11,000. 100,000 times, we'll just call the last numbers that I showed on Facebook like 1,898 tokens. Okay, 1898. Okay, so that today, what I earned in 12 months with that company, a little over 12 months, today would now be worth $210,678,000 in USD value, with the ability to continue to go up because Bitcoin's going to continue to go up, right? So when I moved back home, nobody really knew what Bitcoin was. And so everybody was coming to me asking me, okay, what is this? How did you do this? And everyone always asks me for money because everybody here, that's why they go set up nonprofits and they get grants getting written and all of that stuff, right? But nobody was really understanding of what decentralization was. And to me, that was a big deal because if you're not operating on a different monetary system, then you're still on the cabal system, in my mind, right? The central banking families and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what most people like, right? The lawyers, your world, tens of thousands in some places like in Africa, billionaires what they earned, right? Actually, it changes the culture.
Imagine Ellison, Oprah, who else? We got Bezos over here, Mark Zuckerberg. All those guys aren't really from here. Do they really care about the people here and everything here? Like, homie, like bought the entire island of Lanai, pretty much. Like, I mean, imagine if you had
Yeah, but
five
who did he buy it
Kanaka,
from?
five
Who did
real
he buy it from?
Hawaiians that are really care about this place that are billionaires. What if there were
Just
five
five.
billionaires that grew up here, salt of the earth, like really part of the Aina? Like, what a change we could make. Hmm.
That's how I thought coming back. I was like, why wouldn't any of the Kanaka want to align with me since I don't have to rely on any of the governments for money, any of them, period. None of them. I don't have to rely on any of them. But it was too much of the digital space was too much for them. It's still, now I have everybody calling me back going, oh, can you help us with Bitcoin? No, I can't. I've moved on. I've got other technologies that we've developed and built and is, rolling out that you guys can participate in a different way, but not in the way
Yeah,
that we
I'm the
did in the
same
very
that way.
beginning.
My friend was telling me in like 2012 or 2010, like, hey, dude, you got all these computers. You shouldn't build like Bitcoin mining, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever, bro. And, like, oops,
What I didn't get started,
oops.
that's what people don't understand. A lot of people, they have no clue how to build a network, right? Because they think like, oh, we just want to invest and hold the hodlers, right? It took people like myself go and build networks into the hundreds of thousands to go teach it. So it goes up because more of the volume was being put into Bitcoin on the markets because of what we were saying. I didn't get a commission for doing it. I've never charged for my education, right? But if you put me up to all of these other people, again, I don't have a license to do any of that stuff because there's no you didn't have to get a license to educate people on what was
Bitcoin, yeah,
uncharted
it's too new.
territory,
Yeah,
right? And you know what I
we're all
mean? And
just figuring
so
it out together. Yeah.
so going back to Ellison, and we know him and his son, and then you got Plantier, right? You got them
Palantir,
and
yeah.
Palantir, and
Mm.
so like on the backside, I'm watching all of these things go down, and thank God I don't have a job, and thank God I didn't commit to 40 by 40 by 40. I mean, I can work 12 hours today.
Could
I
you
could close
imagine
one.
working for like 50 years for somebody else and then getting screwed out of your pension and your social security and all of that? Like, I just can't even imagine like going working for like slaving for someone else who's actually slaving for someone else. You know, your business owner's still a slave of the government, right? Like
Right.
slavery under slavery under slavery. Like,
Well, that's the
you know?
Ponzi scam that everybody thinks is real because that's just how people been doing it for so long,
Yeah,
right?
we've been programmed by movies and TV and school. Like, yeah, you just always got to work harder, work harder. And there's two things that are certain: death and taxes, you know, death and taxes. But now I'm not certain of either. You know, I don't,
Well,
we definitely don't believe in taxes, not these unlawful taxes that are forced on us.
well, and it's not a loophole. That's what people they defame words of education so that less people can
Yeah.
um benefit from it, right? Like it's kind of amazing to me. Like that's I think that's the psyops in my head every single day that I look back and I reflect about what I was taught. I
Mm,
was an honor roll student. I graduated from Kamehameha. I got into college. I went to a Seventh-day Adventist college in Napa, California, and then I dropped out because I was working a job that was already I was getting paid $100,000 a year already, right? So why would I go pay $34,000 a year to go get an education to be an engineer, which is what, I was going to school for,
right.
when I'm already making 100,000 without any debt? And so like these are the things at a young age I was exposed to, maybe because I left Hawaii,
And that
right?
student
Because
debt, you would never get, like, you can't default on that. Like, who gives a 19-year-old like a few $100,000 and, like, okay, yeah, go make some money out of this? Nope. And then the schools don't even help you get a job afterward. They give you
what
like a degree that is already like outdated.
right, like what everybody's learning right now, right? So that they
Yeah.
can't keep up with what they need, which is why AI is going. And I think that people should just stop acting like they really like working all these slave jobs, because they don't, because that's why there's so much liability involved in all of that stuff. There's a lot of things that are going to get replaced by robotics and machinery and all of that kind of stuff in AI. But there's also still a life for being alive, right? And so like
Mm.
I would rather have, if I'm going to build automobiles and be the top manufacturer in Ko Hawaii Aina to build my own automobiles, right? Like, um, I would have it built by the machines.
Yeah, we need that Henry Ford hemp powered car that is stronger than steel. Like, come on.
Shh, shh, don't tell anybody our secrets. We talk
Oh,
about that
sorry,
kind of
I
stuff.
didn't know.
Everybody has to
I
get on
was
our
just
other
shooting
calls.
in the
Hey,
dark
I might
there.
charge for those. I might
I
charge
was
a
shooting in the
25.
dark.
But
As you
that's
can see
also,
from my hair, I'm into the hemp.
so like in my mind, I've already got plans to not restore the Hawaiian kingdom, but move on from all of that, right? Because back in the day, they didn't have the technologies and the blockchain, and they didn't have planes, and then, so like, right? Hold on 1 second. Here's Joe. And say hi to everybody, Joe.
Who's
Okay, hold on.
everybody?
Hold on. Say
Joe
hi.
Akana, two
Hello.
time congressional
Hello.
candidate and all around awesome guy. How's it, Joe Akana?
It is great. Aloha. How's that? Can see 'em?
Aloha.
All right, there we go.
Okay, I'm gonna jump out and go on the other side while we're talking. Yeah, but there's a lot of ideas, and that's the other thing is I have patents. So I don't know about the judge, I don't know about the jury, I don't know about this Josh Green, he might have a patent for COVID 666, whatever, right? But
A green new
um
feel. Okay, yeah, he wants to feel you.
oh yeah,
Green new
all the
feel.
green all the green taxes, all the green fees now he's gonna impose on everybody because he didn't use his COVID spending budget wisely when Joe Biden was in office. So that's the other thing, right? Once Joe Biden was put there as a puppet, he never won the election, but
Selected.
whatever, right? He was installed.
Just like Josh Green was. Scott Nago. We got eyes on you, brother.
Oh, Scott Nago just got sued. I think the Republican Party. I just saw it on Facebook. They just went and sued him, so that's good. I'm glad for that, and
If
we
the
want to give
leadership
Ralph
of the
Kushney.
Republican Party was to be trusted,
major
I could
props.
see them suing
job, Rob.
him just so they can throw it. But yeah, go ahead.
One, like Ralph Kushner, I mean, do I know that the state is de facto? Yes. Do I know that the state is illegitimate? Yes. Did Trump know that the U.S. government corporation is de facto? Yes. But somebody has to go run and do it, right? Somebody has
Yeah.
to be the nemesis of Josh Green, which is why I was attacked here this day. Because 4 days, I mean, I'm a shit talker, but I'm a walker, right? And I don't. Not everybody likes what I have to say, and I really don't care because none of them pay my bills, right? I'm not codependent on somebody else's paycheck to pay my bills, right? I've created my own stuff. I got things going on in the background that nobody knows about, and if you're not in my inner circle, well, then you don't get to know. And even if you start to become in my inner circle, I'm not going to tell you 20 years of my background and everything that I've accomplished and done and give you, oh, here you go. I make sure that I'm not trying to send out NDAs to a whole bunch of people.
A lot of the crypto people that I know that are doing things like they don't want to tell everybody. They're kind of like actually libertarian leaning that way about privacy because they don't want to end up like Joby Weeks or like Taylor Akana, right? They don't want to have people with guns to come and like arrest them for no good reason.
It's Kelly Akana, formerly Taylor, right?
Yeah. Well, so but that's quoting the SEC.
Oh, well, and that was put on afterwards after the state continued to persist because the judges in the family court, right, and the prosecutor's office when they're conspiring against me and all that kind of stuff. So even those little things I notice, right? I'm like in my mind, I'm like a computer, right? I'm auditing a whole bunch of things, and not because I want to. It's just a gift. I'm a mahu, right? And look at Joe.
What?
Joe Akana is married to one Mahu. You heard it here first, guys. What is the definition of Mahu, by the way?
It's gifted. I can use both the feminine and divine male and female energy inside me, right? Like when I'm a business person, you can go talk to him, babe. When I'm a business person, that's my male dominance that comes out. But if I'm at home, right, and I'm cleaning the house or cooking or hugging my kid, there's different aspects to that. And aikane and aiwahine, that means you enjoy a lover of the same sex, which I'm going to come to this part of because this is, I went and left Hawaii for 20 years. I came back and what the hell happened? Right? It is like literally LGBTQ plus. We grew up with family members who, when I was younger, I was taught that Mahu was gay, and it's not. Okay. But when I was growing up, again, all these things that we were taught that we have to go back and go, oh, shoot, that's not quite right. So I have to reprogram my brain to say it correctly when I'm talking to other people. And that takes perseverance. It takes reprogramming yourself, right?
And some bravery to say that because everybody thinks it's one thing and you're like kind of taking back the vocabulary. Like, the woke mind virus was hijacking vocabulary, actually. So you are like de-hijacking the vocabulary. Yeah, carry on.
So when I say I'm a mahu, it means I'm gifted. I've got a vagina. I was born with a vagina, right? A kohelepe in Ololo, Hawaii. I don't speak Ololo fluently. That's the one thing that I wanted for me and my kids so that we can connect with the culture. And they say, well, if you don't connect with the language, no, Io is inside me. Right, the culture is get rid of the pedophiles, not continue to have them here, take their money.
Who are learning Olelo Hawaii.
Yeah, and so like for me, in my mind, I'm always trying to learn. I have an open mind to learn. There's some things I'm like, nah, not right now is not a good time. But when I relearned what mahu was compared to aikane and aiwahine, then now I can actually speak it. It's the same thing about learning about central banking families and the Zionists.
So you're not gay, you're not trans, you're just gifted. You're a straight female with a vagina. That is how we define female, right?
Hold on one second. Seatbelt on. Let me put my seatbelt on before we get a traffic citation for being a passenger.
Yeah.
Um,
Before you get tased again. She got no seatbelt. That's unsafe. Taser, taser, taser.
I mean,
Jeez.
I know we're laughing about it now, but I definitely, the PTSD doesn't go away when we got to watch all of these videos repeatedly to make sure that what we're saying in open court is legitimate and real, all of that kind of stuff. So I was born here on this island. I was born with a kohelepe lepe or a vagina. I
Kohelepe
do
lepe.
not,
I'm gonna try to remember
I,
that. That's a good word.
I don't want to, I
Kohelepe
don't
lepe.
want to change that about me. I don't have to say my pronouns are her, he, her, she. That's already spoken for. Um, and there is no such thing as a transgender because you cannot transgender to a different gender.
Like I can never be black. I'm just never ever
I
gonna
mean,
be black. I could try to talk like and learn the language. I could learn Swahili. I could move to Nigeria, but
you could get a suntan, but you're never gonna be the DNA of an
I just
African,
can't do it.
right? Or a Kanaka Maoli right now. Like
Right?
we haven't discovered that you have ties to Kanaka Maoli. But
Yeah, I mean,
again,
people might call me a white chimp, but I'm never gonna be a chimpanzee. I cannot devolve or evolve to that. You know, I cannot evolve to become a bird creature from the Egyptian
this
underworld.
is where I grew
You
up.
know, I can't do that. I'm stuck being white. You
This is
know.
where Taylor. This is where Taylor Farm was. This is where I grew up. I was running on the beach. We
Mm,
used to have limu. This is my grandfather's property before the state took it after he passed away when I was a little girl, right? And this is where, like, I mean, these are the houses that are being built up over here. They're like 3.7 million, 2.5 to 3.7 million. I'd love to live in one of these, right? But if you're working a job for $40 an hour, you're not going to be able to afford that.
and when
You
your
know what I mean?
language has been deleted and therefore also your land rights, ooh, yeah, if you don't speak the original language and you don't know how to follow up with the land titles, then it's really easy to have a corporation steal your land.
Well, and even with all the land titles, as you've met many, many repatriated Hawaiians, you've
Yeah,
met people who claim they're from, they're claim. Well, here's another sign. So, like, how do these cops don't know who it was when they came to beat me up? Okay, so
right.
on this whole road, there's signs going down, ending human trafficking, child trafficking. Because many
Well,
reports
and
come
what
from
was
at the
that little
beach.
meeting that they had that we caught part of in the chest cams? We got Guy So Smooth back here in the X space, buddy. Are you able to chime in?
Hey, mic check, mic check. What's up? What's up?
Calais,
What's
Joe, are you
up?
able to hear? Okay, good. They're able to hear
I can
you.
hear Joe's driving. You want me to put it on, Joe? Want me to put it on?
Oh, I've been listening, bro. I just didn't. I was having problems jumping into the space, but I've been listening.
We've been
If
getting
people
mad
don't know,
glitches today, bro. Like they got the
brother, with
courts just.
everything I know, Calais, she knows her shit, man. Like people, us in Web3, we understand, and man. Calais, you speaking some freaking heavy alpha. I don't even know if people know this is money.
Well,
So
that's the
that's
thing,
at
right?
Calais
I give it server
Akana
information
on
for
X.
free.
Here, I'm gonna tag you in the like
You
comments
know,
section here on
I give
X.
this information for free. I don't charge, even though if my career was consulting for information, I don't even charge for that right now. Me, I just find programs that I know will work for people long term, and we start them. And there's programs right now I could get both of you guys in front of, and it would blow your
Here's
guys'
what I
mind. But
got from everything that you said. So, like, with all the freaking things that the cops are doing to you and how that corrupt state of itself is going up against you, people, I think a lot of what you said goes over the heads of a lot of the everyday person. But I'm going to tell everyone here, she knows what she's talking about in terms of when you're coming to the decentralization. And Andrew, shout out to you for bringing it to the public's eye and stuff. I know we don't the viewers will catch this. I don't know if it's a recorded space or you have it uploaded anywhere.
Yeah,
But
recording as much as we can. Hopefully, it all works. It seems to be working. But yeah, carry on.
yeah, I mean, you guys, I don't think people realize the how much gold drops she's just put on this whole stream. I understand, Khaled. I know where you're coming from. We who know.
Those with eyes can see.
Well, it's not decentralization and blockchain wasn't an easy thing, right? I think when I got started, there wasn't even a million people who had wallets, probably not even 50,000, maybe not even 100,000. And so, what he's saying is true. It's like we went through uncharted territories. We were pioneering things that everybody, they couldn't even wrap their mind around. But like I was telling you earlier, like I said no the first time to Joby when he told me, go get $5,000 worth of Bitcoin. It's 50 cents a
Everyone said
token,
no.
Yeah, that's
right?
crazy,
I
nerd.
said
Get out of here,
no,
nerd.
No.
right?
Yeah.
And if I did
No,
it at
dude.
that time, I would have had 10,000 Bitcoin,
Woo.
and I did it. And but that's why my whole thing was expansion, becoming more like of a Bitcoin economist, not just a trader. Like a lot of people, they're in the secondary markets, they have no clue. Like, yeah, you can go read how the minting is done, but you don't ever get deposits in minting every single day from your trading the way that you would in mining, right? And so, like, because people didn't just like what Carl talked about, the Hawaii doesn't even have a real judiciary, right? So
Yeah.
if you now we're going through this and
Or
now we're
real
looking at
schools,
it.
really, if you think about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But see, but like again, this is the information. When I was on Facebook, I have 45,000 people on my Facebook lives doing trivia. Right? I've given like I had my cousin just call me the other day, bro. Like, listen to this. Because part of what Joby taught me was give some, figure out how to get people involved in the technology side, you know, and then go get your own, go get your own miners, go get your own nodes, go get your own like that.
Right.
That's kind of like how I was taught by Joby. And Joby, when Bitcoin was like $1, he gave Bitcoin to like thousands of people. So when I had a lot of Bitcoin, birthday presents, right, or crypto in general, so like I've given tens of thousands of people crypto.
Mm.
You know how many of them have lost their security keys? Half,
Yeah.
right? So they will never ever get to see it. But now what they get to follow is the pain of losing their seed words,
Yeah.
right? Not being able to access it. But my cousin, he just called me out of the blue. He's going to be going to Samoa and they're going to stop here for like a few hours. And he was like, "Cuz, are you still in Bitcoin? Are you still in Bitcoin?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's still in crypto and I can help you what I can." He goes, "You remember that Bitcoin you gave me for my birthday, bro?" And I was like, I'm a top boy, as any of you guys can see, right? Like I'm talking, this is
Oh,
how I
you
talk with
gave
the
him a
dudes, right?
Bitcoin for his birthday?
I gave him 0.46 Bitcoin. 0.46 Bitcoin.
Oh my god.
Okay? So it was
That's
$500 at the
almost half a
time,
Bitcoin, guys. How much is that these days?
about 50,000, 55,000.
Woo!
So when he
That's a
called
brand
me, he's
new
like, "When I
car.
come to Hawaii, I'm going to sit down and talk to you and I need to know what to do." So, like, even though you guys don't see this because you guys don't do it, like, imagine that was a birthday present like 7 years ago. And he just held it. He goes, "I don't know what to do with it." He just told me to hold it, and then now I look at Bitcoin, it's 127,000, I think, with 26,000 the other day, right? Then that's when he called me. He's like, "I got to figure out. So we'll go get your seed words, figure out how to get it out, and I'll call you and I'll show you the next group of things that you can do where it'll over the long period, And so, but now he trusts me even more because he really didn't do anything and it went up,
Yeah. That's what
right?
I like about crypto and just, yeah, those types of investments. Like, and the Wall Street apes and the Wall Street bets thing, it proved that that's all rigged too, like on the stocks and bonds side. But with crypto, at least you can, like, maybe be investing in some group that is against all of the lies.
Brother
Well, and
man,
then
you
it
guys
was
ain't
a way.
lying.
Oh,
So,
go ahead, sir.
Oh no, you guys are not lying. I mean, I was a part of the apes and the other crew. I got out of all of them. That was too much of a heartache, and to see the manipulation going on in the stock market and how they're never gonna give you a one up on that end. But with, as Khaled's been saying, with Bitcoin, it's only up from there, like from here.
It's just a matter of time. That's it.
Right. And whether it's Bitcoin or it's XRP or it's HBAR or whatever, like folks, put in $100 and just learn by playing. And yeah,
Yes.
suddenly it becomes really real, really fast. And it's
Especially
fun.
if you get in at a good time. Especially if you get in a good time,
Yeah, it's
you
less than
lose your mind.
7% of the world that's using blockchain right now. And I ask people to imagine if you never use the internet, like if you're one of those people today that just doesn't use the internet, doesn't email, nothing, you have a rotary phone. Like if you're not getting on blockchain and figuring this stuff out, then that's going to be you in a few years. You're going to be on your rotary phone.
Disclaimer: we are not financial advisors.
Yeah,
but
this
we
is
are
for
trying to
entertainment
put
and
you onto
educational
some
purposes only.
game here.
I don't know anything, but I do know that I don't like getting rolled. There's three kinds of people, right? The people that make things happen, the people that watch things happen, and the people that say, "What happened?" Which kind of people what you want to be, guys?
I'm in
I
number
like
one.
it.
I like that position.
Yeah, I like being somebody who makes things happen, and if I can't make it happen in that space, I hang around people who do. That's why I hang out with
Right,
Calais and Guy So Smooth and Joe.
right. And I mean, all we have is our stories, right? All we have is our experience. And that's the whole thing about all of this, even with the court system. Like, I've never been tried to represent myself in a felony case like this before. It's my first time, right? But if I don't do it, then I can't say that I attempted to do it,
And
right?
they tried to roll
I,
you in there too, but you rose to the occasion and you presented, not represented, but presented yourself in the courtroom without a lawyer to help you. When they tried to single you out, like I heard the story from multiple angles, and you still stood against these pricks.
yeah, they definitely kick everybody else out of the courtroom if they know that you're going to be a person who starts to bring in constitutional law or, things that they're not, they're against the state policies, right, and statutes. Then they get their panties in a ruffle and they'll hold all the other court hearings before you. They'll make you wait there and then they'll bring you in. And then, I mean, as you know, because you have other
Yeah,
witnesses
they
that
don't
were
want anybody
there,
else getting any bright ideas from you. That would be a challenge to the power structure. When you find
right?
out that the power structure is fake, it's all a
Right,
fraud.
which is why they won't let you just they won't just record. Like, I mean, you see on YouTube now, right? There's other judges that have channels on YouTube. The- these these judges here, their biggest fear is being recorded by somebody where they don't have the data and the control to control the narrative,
Right.
right? Their biggest fear here. And so the
Ooh.
other thing is
Could
that
Pikachu get one bill in where we force them to live stream most of their court hearing? That'd be nice.
Well, actually, there's
well,
ways you guys can do it nowadays. I mean, they don't have a law against you wearing a camera on your clothing, like literally a GoPro, as like what a lot of streamers do now. Did you guys know that?
Oh, that if you're wearing it, then they
Yeah,
can't stop you even in a courtroom?
you
because they're
wearing
going to
it
touch
as a like a
your person and
necklace, like a
property.
literal necklace that is out there. Like
A necklace
they can't
cam?
stop
Yeah.
you. Yeah, what they can do is probably at the doorway they could probably say, "Oh, we'll take all electronics and stuff." But then you gotta ask them, "Hey, read what's the laws for going into the court?" And then you go through all that process and you say, "I gotta keep my clothing on me and stuff like that." Your camera can be a part of your clothing, and then you just push record.
Right. I like that. Well, what we did before is we packed the courtroom with like 100 people and somebody in there recorded it. We don't know who, but who you going to prosecute when the video leaks, dum-dum?
Well,
So,
that's the whole thing about it is that we know that they are, I mean, you heard Carl earlier, they're structurally improper. Like that's legitimately the reason. They're structurally,
yeah.
they're not supposed to create form on words based on what they're doing. And,
Yeah, they're built
you
on
know,
false everything. It started with a lie, it ends with a lie.
right. And so, and the whole thing is if our government wasn't corrupt, and it's not my government, I'm not saying this is my government, I'm saying it's an illegitimate government.
Yeah,
And
the
all these people
forced
who are in it,
rape that we call the government of Hawaii. Yeah,
right? So like,
the state of Hawaii,
um,
yeah.
it's such a huge contrast to try to he knows too, it's such a huge contrast because we're learning all of these
in real time, and we're trying to apply them, and we're seeing other people who are using constitutional law. You know, you see all of these things on YouTube and Facebook that you never used to see before, right? And people are starting to post it now. And so like now people are awakening from their wokeness, you know, and people are questioning, and you know what I mean? And
That's
people
the
are actually
t-shirt right
questioning
there,
what the hell is
awaken
going
from
on.
the wokeness. Yeah, carry on.
Hashtag Queen Iconic. And candidate for governor 2026.
Awaken, not
So like
woke. Yeah.
But
Wait,
you
did
know,
she
but
say
so
awakening from their wokeness?
Yeah, awakening from their
that is a
wokeness. Put
banger.
on the t-shirt. Vote for Kalea Kana for
Let's put that on
governor
a t-shirt.
2026. Yes, yeah, Guy So
we will
Smooth
we
said we
will
need it on a t-shirt. Yeah.
we need it on a t-shirt. Okay. So but that brings us back to the ministries, right? Like as you guys know, after I was going through all of this, I can only handle so much because I have to focus on my stuff. So right now the website's down, but we can put it back up when this is all dropped, or we're taking it up to the federal court, or
Yeah,
whatever we
thing at a
choose to do.
time. Yeah, deal
Right.
with this police, what was it? Attacking a police officer charge?
Assaulting a police officer in the first degree in self-defense. So
Yeah, so now
like they're
she's in on the defense in the court after these guys came and beat her up and kidnapped her unlawfully. And so she's got to defend herself in court against that.
well, and they only in their incomplete discovery, they have so much body cam footage that should be on for their event that is not there. And then there is no record of me until 12:52 a.m. in the morning checking in at Baratania.
Yeah, and they had you up in the middle of the night with some investigator there talking about interviewing you at night or something, I remember. Or like
well, she came in at about 5 o'clock on the 6th.
I thought
And that
they
was
had something
detective.
going on at like midnight or something.
No, well, it was a transport, right?
Oh, okay.
And in the middle of the night, it was a transport. But when I got to when I the very next day, because they held me for like 36 hours in their custody.
Right.
And so, as we all know, rule 48 hours is and so Joe kept on top of that and all of that stuff, right? And they didn't even know. The cops didn't even know what the rule was.
Arraign
like
you within 48 hours? Yeah.
Correct. And so they weren't able to do that. And Detective Jolene DeCaris, DeCaires.
Yeah,
Detective,
that fact alone, that they didn't arraign you in 48 hours, case dropped. Period. Like,
That's
in
right,
any
they didn't
judge
arraign me
that
in
doesn't
48
do
hours.
that, it looks real
It's
guilty
Friday.
to me.
That's just another thing that just got brought up. That's a good point, Andrew. And so when she came in, nobody wants to use my last name because again they're trying to attach it to one thing, which is a human trafficking.
No Miranda rights, no arraignment. Yeah.
Right. So and then signatureless warrant by a judge. Okay. And so like that is my experience after being kidnapped, abducted, held hostage, you know, I mean above and beyond
By
the punchings in the
Police
face.
Department.
Honolulu Police Department. Punches in the
Serving with
face.
aloha. What you gonna do
all
about
down
it,
my
right?
leg,
That's what they said. I punched your wife in the face. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, nakomera. Right, that was pa'aluhi, pigaluhi.
Pigaluhi.
And then brown is like when crackhead, like when Bird, once Gaber called daddy, whoever daddy was in the middle of the engagement.
So Officer Gaber on the police chest like cam is recorded calling somebody on the phone talking about what they're gonna do with you and calling him daddy?
Yeah.
Is my understanding accurate?
That's what it sounds like on the phone to me. Jojo's like,
bro,
right?
Yeah, like no joke, bro. I've seen all the chest cam stuff. Not all of it's been released to the public yet. Like, cause you know, like we gotta
only 3 minutes. Only 3 minutes has been released to the public. That's all, and that already got like hundreds of thousands of views just on Facebook.
Yeah, we gotta make these dipshits real famous. I don't know if I'm gonna get censored more for cursing. Maybe I shouldn't curse, but that's how I feel.
They're not trying to give us, the HPD is hiding the body cam footage. The prosecutors is conspiring to say, well, this is all the body cam footage that they got, you know,
Yeah,
but
and you
we
can
know
see
there's
on the
out.
recording where they move the mouse. And it's all there. It's there in the video they gave us. It shows that they didn't show the whole video.
Wouldn't all you guys need to prove that point is just a professional video editor just to
We
figure
already
out
did. We
what's
have
going
that.
on?
We have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are
We
you
have to have that.
interested in working together to make some video productions, guys, so smooth?
Yes.
Because we need some help, brother.
Yeah, guy.
Bruh, like I said, just drop
Bruh.
the videos. People like me can cut it up and put it out in
Well-
such an effective way that they don't understand how effective
Right.
visual
Well,
media
some of
is.
it though needs to be held because, like, if we're gonna charge these police with brutality later, like, you can't have everything out in the public already because they have their right to a trial by jury, and we
Yeah,
cannot
got it,
show
got
that
it.
we have like, and this is all
Yeah.
educational and entertainment, guys. But yeah, we can't show like that the public has already been swayed by certain things. Especially
Well, the
if it's
public,
been
well,
edited at
but the
all.
reality is, who cares? Because the public has already been swayed and they're manipulated by
Well, and I
illegitimate
think we're at the point in
cabal
Hawaii where people are probably going to start
criminals.
showing up at the federal buildings because we don't have election integrity, right? They're
Well, yeah,
changing
well-
the judicial records, like for criminal cases, and covering their own asses. They're covering their asses for the election fraud selection process. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go to their courtroom and just walk in and be like, you guys got to remove us all. And
I
we
don't think
all
they know how
demand,
many
trials by jury. Arrest
I don't
us
think
all.
they know how many frustrated people, Americans, and the people who aren't the most. Let me tell you. Let me just kind of, like, because of history, right? So when I'm here at home now, and I'm on the ground, and I'm on the Aina, you know, obviously Hawaiians are being targeted. Women of color are being targeted. They're being targeted to take their kids from them. Carl could tell you about Charmaine's case and all of that kind of stuff as well. But
So many.
that's the whole thing. There's so many. I mean, I've been sat at the courthouse. I've sat down for other people to go support them in the ministries. I got a lot of reporting done about all of this kind of stuff. But where was I going with this? Americans and Hawaiians need to come together. Okay? The Japanese are running over everything, right?
And not
The
just ethnic
Chinese-
Japanese. You mean like the Yakuza mobsters that came to Hawaii a long time ago and their families are still here running some stuff? You mean those guys?
Well, yeah, and then there's others, right? There, I mean, but then again, like, is Maisie Hirono really a United States citizen? How did she come here to the quote unquote illegitimate state of Hawaii during an occupation and get a visa and turn herself into a U.S. citizen in an illegal domicile?
Whoa.
That's a big.
Ice,
That's what I
ice,
want.
baby.
That's what exactly. So I should be called on all of them.
Omar type of thing.
Yeah, where she married her brother or whatever to become an American citizen. Yeah, I mean, it means chattel, right? You're like property. I'm American national, baby. I reclaim my status, my birthright.
We did that.
I am not
Right.
property of the state. I ain't no citizen. I
Well,
read
see,
Black's
but so
Law
then when you
Dictionary.
think about it, yes, guy, yes. The answer is yes. It's just like Obama, right? Obama too, right? And so, like, all of these people. So I was born here, right? I have a birth certificate that said I was born here. That, and I know my grandma, you know, like, I know I grew up here, right? It wasn't like I came from Kenya to go to a private school to get fucked in the butt by these
Big
guys
Mike?
who are all of these what do you call them? Like, they're guy on guy,
candidates?
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, they're male on male. Like, this is like, you know, the letter, the what is it called? The what was it called? No. Well, no. For them, we went over the icon in Iwahine, but they're even the founding fathers. Like, people don't even understand. Like, this whole thing is like male on male. That's why you have so many people who've been raped, sodomized, abused. system come out and all these people turn LGBTQ, most people, I would say 60% of the population has been violated sexually by a predator of their own family or somebody close to the family. Right? But nobody can say anything because nobody gets justice, just like the Epstein files.
Yeah, it
Right?
always confused me why these abusers get off after like 3 years, and they've ruined somebody's like potentially their entire life. They've wrecked them, right? Like wrecked their
Yeah.
whole life, changed their whole trajectory, but they're out on a warning in 2 years or something, and then they're back at it again. Like, I like Singapore.
Do you know?
You know, they will beat you with a cane if you're stealing stuff, bro. Don't steal
Right?
stuff and you don't get beat with a cane.
Look, we have another guest. We have the wonderful.
Oh, who we got in?
Magaso!
The Eagle. Magaso William Dennis, our esteemed friend, has come in. We're at 1:11 is when we're supposed to finish, but we might be able to extend a little bit. Magaso, are you able to unmute and show your shining face, sir? He is one of my personal heroes in this whole battle against darkness. He's here.
I can unmute.
And Magaso's
right,
a
we hear
friend
you.
to Hawaii and a friend. We're all real patriots of humanity, but he's a friend to. So just because he's not Kanaka, he's a friend. I haven't discovered that yet, but he is one of our dearest friends in Kohawaii Pai'aina.
And he served the mayor of Kauai with us for crimes against humanity, and he gave us a lesson along the way on how to properly serve them. Thank you, Magaso. Oh, and we got his face. Here he is, Magaso Dennis. How you going?
A face amongst faces. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am late joining in. I am working on a few things. Cases, of course, so we can get to the truth of all matters. As you know, the truth hurts, the truth heals, and the truth sets you free.
Yep. So you've been doing a lot of work with the law, right? Very learned in law, and also now you're podcasting with Ashley Weiss. Is it Red? I always mix it up.
Red America First.
Red America First.
And then this week it's tomorrow
it's every
at 3
Thursday,
o'clock.
Right? Thursday.
And tomorrow's Dinesh. Yeah. There's a huge panel on
Souza.
tomorrow to talk.
Dinesh Souza tomorrow.
Wow. Yes. Yeah, that's a really big name.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Show up for Hawaii. Carry on.
Yeah, last week we had Dr. Peter McCullough on.
He was great again.
About the vaccine. So, yeah, so everything is unfolding in the world on all levels, and because everything's connected, right from Kayleigh's case right up to the top of the chart, so to speak. So everybody's just doing their part to serve humanity and serve the whole, so that everyone can live in their authenticity, their authentic self, because as you know, AU is the symbol for gold. And we are moving into the golden age. And so when they try to get us to sign with our signature, that's just a trap. We sign with we authorize things, and that's the only contract that there is, when you're authorizing things under your own authority in your own authentic self. So when you look at, say, the founding fathers, they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident. That means there's no question. You don't have to do any research. It's obvious. It's obvious what the truth is.
No debating, no wiggling.
But we live in the world of duality. So if you take self-evident and flip it around, it's evident self. So once you know the evidence of yourself living under your own authority, it's easy to navigate the matrix of life.
Well said, well said. And for the folks that feel like, oh, we're just kind of mincing words, no, like laws are written to the letter for a reason. And when you go into a courtroom and you have to fight for your freedom, right, to fight for your rights, stand for yourself, then all of these words actually matter. And over time, words and language have been manipulated. The public lexicon, as it's called, that has been shifted with this thing they call the Overton window, which is like this area of things that we can actually conceive of based on the languages and the thought processes, the schemas that we all have available. And there are these dark wizards, these dark magicians using neurolinguistic programming to make up become down and down become up and make you part of this thing that you were never born to be. We were born free, and we're told that we're citizens, and that's supposed to be a good word, but it turns out it means property. So when Megeso, when Carl Dix, when these guys are talking, I really try to listen and take notes. Although you don't feel that in the podcast today, I'm trying to be a translator for everybody else who's not quite picking up on those subtleties.
Yeah, so legalese is babble. No,
Right.
the court language is just confusion.
And Babel,
And
as in Babylon, Babylonian law, masking our actually, what was it, biblically based law in America, at least.
right. So we really have to become lawful again, and lawful is quite simple because we're talking in plain language with actual evidence, with actual facts, not hearsay, not presumptions, not assumptions, not hiding evidence. Everything is put out in the front so everyone can see. So words are powerful because whoever has we'll call it the origin of words, that's the most powerful word. They've changed the meaning of words over time, since the beginning.
Oh, and I've seen it just the past few years, like herd immunity, they changed that. Vaccine, they changed that. The word Semite has been changed.
Yes.
They've been
Vaccines.
doing it to fit the narrative that they want to control people.
That's Guy So Smooth here on X. We're doing an X space at the same time, Megeso. Say that again, Guy.
They do the changing of words to fit the narrative so that they can keep control of people. Like Megeso is saying, if you don't know your law, better learn it now.
Yep, and it's an ongoing process, right? Like, I know more than I knew a few years ago. And I started learning after the age of 40 or almost 40 or whatever. But just rinse and repeat. You can learn how to code too, guys. Just rinse and repeat. It's like learning another language. Learning Spanish or Japanese or legalese.
Go on, Megeso.
Well, everything has a foundation. And the foundations, we look at the word original or origin. Another word that equates to origin would be roots. So when people are feeling troubled or whatever, they say, oh, I got to get to the root cause of the issue, or I got to get to the root of the problem, or I've got to get back to my roots. So if you want to destroy a tree or a plant or anything, you pull it out by its roots. And that's what they've been doing to humanity over time, is taking us away from our roots or our origin. Not only the origin of words, but the origin of life.
Right. Now, yeah, we get into some deep talk sometimes. Megeso, like, we started talking, like, some Anunnaki stuff before, right? Like, the star people, all these original peoples. In Australia, I heard this too. They call them the Aboriginals, but actually they're just the originals. And they have 40,000 years of their history. And they talk about the star people in tribes of Africa as well, like the star people. What do you think about this, Megeso? Kale, Guy So Smooth?
Well, we're all original. We just came in at different timelines and different geographic areas and different whatever. But we're all original.
I'm convinced that I'm a hybrid of something from out of this world, dude. I never felt like I belonged here.
Well, it's kind of like this is why no one owns the land. Because no matter where we were put, we were all in that spot first.
Right.
Where we landed.
Yeah, where we landed.
Right. So we're actually created in the heavens, and then we're seated on Earth for our purpose. And we spend our whole life running in circles trying to find our purpose. And we try to get that answer from other people. But now we go full circle. It's self-evident. It's within yourself.
The kingdom of God is within you. I think I've heard that said. Some guy, some really famous guy said something like that before.
Right. So when
right,
you
and
master,
like Kele said, EO is inside of her.
right.
Yeah.
So when you master yourself, you're mastering yourself on all planes of existence, emotionally, physically, spiritually, intellectually, etherically, and we're untapping, we're opening up and activating all our DNA that's within us already. We're the most powerful creation that was asked to be the stewards of the rest of creation, because we have reason, but we've learned we use our reason for the wrong reason. If that makes sense. That makes sense. So we're not always looking out for the greater good. So when you master yourself, then you can learn to communicate and have relationships with other creation, because there's nothing in the way. Because the only thing in the way is yourself. But we get tied up in all these jargons of racism and separatism and this. We fight over the most trivial things that really don't matter in the big scope of things.
Right? Yeah, we're all on this tiny blue dot. Right? It's a tiny blue dot. And we're only here a very short time.
Well, the term circle of life.
Well, we could be here a lot longer if we
Well,
activate
I just mean in
ourselves.
this like human body right now, like the typical lifespan is 80 years, 100 years. I mean, maybe we can get back to like Methuselah type of times. I think the death is optional. I think that Jesus proved that. He was one of the prophet, or I shouldn't say prophet, but one of the ascended people who got that Christ consciousness and didn't die, didn't have to die, came back. I don't know. I mean, everything seems to be a simulation, right? We're made of these quantum particles, virtual particles.
Christ consciousness is only fifth dimension. There are many dimensions beyond five.
So
That's
we
correct.
just reached after 1:11 p.m. I think that's a good preview, because I do want to pick your brain more on that, Miguel. So I've been studying deeper into this like 3-dimensional, 5th-dimensional, like Nikola Tesla 369 vibrational frequency stuff, the secret, quote unquote, like, and these hermetic principles. There's a whole lot of stuff we need to deep dive on.
Well, let's just look at electronics. Because back in the day when I worked on electronic equipment, we used oscilloscopes to watch what was happening. And that's all sine waves. That's AC, alternating current.
Right.
So it goes up and down, just like in the ocean, waves, sine wave. And then to create digital technology, which made more things in a smaller bandwidth, they clipped the sine wave and turned it into square waves. So now you have to move over, go up, move over, come down, move over. And that's why we only see snapshots of news, snapshot of reality, because nothing flows. We need to get back in the flow.
Well, and the whole calendar got changed, right? The Gregorian calendar took us off of a natural system. And our bodies, like, we're made of, like, our blood has iron in it. We have a pull from the moon somehow, it seems, if you believe that the moon is real. Or maybe it's real and it was artificially put there. The mathematics of the moon and the sun distance is pretty questionable to me.
Well, look at how easy it is to get humans off balance. Just create a little bit of change and they freak out.
Right.
It takes a while for their body to readjust.
Well, and it's every full moon that we also have that freak out statistically with crime rates, right? There's something else going on here that we weren't told.
Well, even the human resonance has changed in the recently.
That's the vibrational frequency of the earth, guys. And it vibrates your whole body. You didn't even realize it.
So we all react to vibration and frequency. And that's why early on you say, "Oh, I'm on the same wavelength as that person."
Yeah,
Yeah, you are.
and
But you can be on the same wavelength with everyone because you adjust your frequency to the people that you're with. Well,
mm,
so when you're communicating, you can be on the same wavelength, and that eliminates separation.
I was just gonna
That,
say, inversely, some people just really get irritated by the sound of my voice.
yeah.
Dum-dum. Right? It can be the opposite too, right? Like sometimes you're just like, whoa, I just don't resonate with that person. Like that, something about their voice or their
What,
frequency. Just
It's energy.
it's
People
all energy.
understand, like,
well,
uh, yeah, subconsciously, energy can drive you away or bring you towards others.
And like attracts like. It's not like they taught us with magnetism, right?
so when you
Like,
look at when you say 13 vibrations, the seventh vibration, the one in the middle, is resonance.
mm,
And that's what you should be tuning into is resonant frequency.
yeah, now we're talking musical scales. We're talking Pythagoras as well. If you guys get into the math there, the middle frequency there, resonant frequency. Some of them are discordant, but I guess even resonant frequency can shatter things, right? Like glass.
Yes.
Hey, I want to add something to this. There's because I follow a lot of what's going on in the archaeology world right now with a bunch of the X guys over here on the
With the
X.
scalar scans and stuff. Yeah, tell us,
Yeah, so
bro.
a lot of their discoveries, recent discoveries, it's actually not new, but then it's being recently put out to mainstream
Mm.
media. Is they're finding a lot of the ancient megaliths that are all over the world have some sort of sound quality to them in the form of it looks like they were used as resonators, literally.
And they look like
Like,
huge circuits, man. Like all these old buildings, the cathedrals, they look like digital circuits. Like the
well, bro,
entire
they
planet was
sound
used to
tested
focus
these
energy or
things.
something.
Yeah, so like what Megasa was saying, resonance. They were doing sound testing these things, and they vibrate. Sound vibrates at certain wavelengths that can either that match like healing wavelengths and wavelengths that
Mm-hmm.
can improve mental and physical capacity. That's what
And
they're
I've
finding
been
now in
using
a
some of
lot
that
of the recent
technology.
archaeological findings.
The Rife technology, I got my hands on some of it, and I have one laying around here somewhere. But yeah, I've been testing it on people, and it looks like this gnarly like thing from like Star Trek, but it's like a hair blower that blows air through a crystalline. It's like quartz crystal that they made into a cylinder that is finely woven with, or not woven. It's what do you call it? The wrap of the copper, right? Just like a speaker around the magnet or whatever. That type of copper coiling, and it blows this air, which then charges the particles, which I guess then penetrate your body. But like a dude that I know who has cancer on his eye, like on his eyelid, it's shrunk his cancer. He uses it like religiously every day. Another dude with like inflammation in his legs, he looked like he's 10 years younger after using this Rife machine. Rife, Rife.
Yeah. Well, everything contained within us, our blood has its own frequency, bone has its own frequency.
Mm.
So
Yeah, you can
once,
feel
once,
music in your bones sometimes, right?
yeah, well, that's how music moves you, so to speak. You
Yeah,
get that
quite
right.
literally.
Yeah.
And some of that releases dopamine or adrenaline, which then on a biomolecular scale also has its own frequency because on a biomolecular level of thermodynamics, like all these proteins and things are moving based on heat, right? And basic laws of physics. I
Yeah.
mean, if we're staying within the 3D realm of how things seem to work, what we've been told at least.
Well, just think of heavy metal, which they call headbanging music.
Mm.
And then you get into like a love song that's like a waltz, very different reaction. So music definitely drives our emotions.
Mm. Yeah, well, and it's also used in broadcasting of some of these spells of hypnotic things with NLP.
Oh,
Beyonce's "Girls Rule the World" thing. What are you saying, guys? So smooth.
it's the most
Uh,
basic of human origins. Is what I
Mm.
was trying to point at with the whole freaking archaeological finding and stuff. I think it was the it was in the beginning, right? Like everybody talks about that Big Bang, the Big Bang, right? But
Right.
then I always ask the question, who was there to hear the bang? So how can you call it a Big Bang if who was there to hear it?
Yeah, they say there is no God, there are no miracles,
Yeah,
except for
exactly.
this first one that we call the Big Bang.
Like, who would do the Big Bang? Like, you had to have an outside force construct something. That's just, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I better jump, guys. We're 11:11 to 1:11 every Wednesday. Thank you for helping me to learn how to podcast and for helping to boost Kale's voice. Because, yeah, if they can do this to her, they can do this to any of us and all of us. They tried it on Mageso too in a different way, different story. We need to hear that full story at some point again.
Yes, we do.
Please. Yeah, like, it's just by the grace of God, EO, that we are here together.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That
Have a
is
good
our prayer.
day.
Continued grace from God, from EO, strength, protection, and armor of God over all of our friends here. Thank you, God, for bringing us together. Thank you, Keakua, for letting this Malahini be here. And love all of you guys. And even the people that hate us, we love you too. And we forgive you. Like, for real, like, you're just another part of EO and you don't realize it. You're just part of God dancing in front of us to make us entertained, because it's boring just sitting and thinking about infinity all the time. And knowing everything is kind of boring, right? What are you going to talk about?
Love it.
You go, Andrew. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Aloha.
Talk at you soon. Aloha. See you next
Aloha.
week. 11:11. Every Wednesday we get our podcast going. Now I play the theme song. Aloha. Maui Freedom TV. Hawaii Freedom TV. Love you guys. Love everybody. See you guys. Thanks so much for jumping in.
Taser! Get out the car! Get up! Oh yeah! Now here we call it out with facts and transparency. Tune in, stay strong, let's fight for what's right. Tune in, stay strong, join the fight. MFTV, 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 shining truth the light. MFTV, MFTV, MFTV.
Why are you laughing and smiling?
She hurt herself.
Can you fix my problem?
No, get out the car.
Oh my God.
Get out the car.
Joe!